Whether the team is performing clean or unsightly, we'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Louie T. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So football is back. It feels so good to be able to say that. Texans Chiefs last night on Thursday Night Football kicked off the 2020 NFL season. Game wasn't as competitive as I would have liked it to have been, but still it was fun to see professional tackle football on my television screen. Now, some of you are asking, what does that have to do with the Washington football team? If you watched the game last night, you saw a couple of rookies, one on each side of the football for the Kansas City Chiefs, ball out last night. And all I could think of watching the game, and there were a couple of Washington fans on the live stream last night as we talked about that game, saying that they hope we get that kind of production out of some of our rookies, most notably Antonio Gibson, AGG, and some of the other guys that are going to play Chase Young on the defensive side of the football. Obviously, we're hoping to get that kind of performance in their first game of their NFL careers on Sunday. It would be a great look for this football team to have those players come out of the gate week one and provide that kind of play. The Chiefs have a rookie running back in Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU that balled out of control on Thursday night. We're hoping for much of the same from our rookie running back, Antonio Gibson. Meanwhile, they had a rookie, L'Jarius Sneed, at the cornerback position play a pivotal role in their win on Thursday night. We're hoping Chase Young can do much of the same for us on the defensive side of the football against the Philadelphia Eagles. There were some cute little plays run by the Chiefs in this game. I thought the Texans ran a couple of two-back sets and formations that I thought were pretty interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of that from our team. So I thought those were things that I kind of took from the game. There was an awesome screen done by the Chiefs where you got Tyreek Hill coming in motion. He then pivots and goes back the way from which he came. So they've got that eye candy for the defense to pay attention to. Mahomes fakes it to him. Then you've got a running back peeling out of the backfield as if he's running a screen. And so they don't even block the defensive end. He thinks they're running a screen to the running back. So he turns, pivots, runs towards the running back. Mahomes fakes it to him and then throws it to Travis Kelce, who's wide open on a middle tight end screen. I mean, it was one of the most creative plays I've seen in quite some time, or at least one of the most creative ways I've seen a tight end screen, a middle tight end screen run. And it's those types of ways I want to see Scott Turner be innovative and creative and give the defense something to think about and not allow them to tee off on Dwayne Haskins. And so I thought there were some really interesting things done on the Texans side as well. As I talked about Duke Johnson and David Johnson, both in the game at the same time at the running back position. I think we're going to see some of that from our team as well with two back sets with J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson on the field at the same time. So sometimes there can be things learned and things that you can gain from watching other teams play, not just watching our squad on the field. And like I said, glad that football is back, but there are a couple of things that I looked at and said, I hope that we are paying attention and that we implement some of these things into our game plan on Sunday. As we move on to in other news. And so Ron Rivera stepped to the podium yesterday, but it was before I had already recorded the show and hadn't had time to watch the presser, listen to what he had to say, internalize it so I could kind of regurgitate some of the things that he said that I thought were prominent. However, we're going to talk about that today, but more importantly, we've been talking about the injury report all week, and that's something we're going to do all season long leading up to the game on Sunday. And so we've been covering the injury report for both teams. Let's continue to do that today. One final time, injury report for the week. Let's take a look at the Washington football team first in their injury report, and then we'll take a look at the Eagles and what it states for them. So looking at the injury report for Sunday, same five players that we've talked about all week long. Sadiq Charles at the tackle position, Thomas Davis Sr. at the linebacker position, Kendall Fuller at the cornerback position, Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle, and Antonio Gandy Golden, the Gandhi man, at wide receiver. We start with tackle Sadiq Charles first. He was nursing a calf injury. He was limited on Wednesday, as you can see, limited on Thursday, but a full participant on Friday. That does not mean he's going to play, however, on Sunday. It does point in the right direction. He's trending towards playing. He is listed as questionable, as you can look at the game status and see. However, we'll see how he feels tomorrow. I think that's going to be the real indication as to whether he'll play or not, because he had a full workload of practice today. If his calf responds well to having a full workload, he'll probably be ready to suit up on Sunday. Hopefully he does not have to see the field in any capacity on Sunday. Anyhow, as you get to Thomas Davis Sr., I told you guys yesterday, I thought he was a long shot that he would play. And I even took it a step further and said, I think he's going to miss the football game if you're being honest with yourself. He also is dealing with a calf injury. He was limited on Wednesday. He did not participate in practice, which led me to believe that he was going to be out this week. And you see now he did not participate in practice on Friday and has been ruled out, the only Washington football player to be ruled out of the game on Sunday. No surprise there. We've got enough depth at linebacker. I think we will be just fine. Kendall Fuller is another guy that I was very concerned about, but I also said in the same breath, I would like them to be very cautious with him because of what he means for this football team. He's at a position that we're kind of on the fence about. We need him to be out on the field for the long haul, not trying to rush him back just for this first game of the season. His knee injury has been a little bit concerning towards the end of training camp, spilling into the start of the regular season. He was limited Wednesday. He was limited Thursday. He's been limited again today. He's listed as doubtful. I don't think he's going to play, to be honest with you. I think he'll be ready to rock and roll week 2 on the road at Arizona. I'll look for Kendall Fuller then. Other guys are going to have to step up, including Fabian Moreau, who's now going to be inserted into the starting lineup more likely than not. And Jimmy Moreland, who was already going to get a lot of reps in the slot, is going to be playing the nickel and seeing a lot of action on the field. Same could be said for Greg Stroman and some of the other guys. They're probably going to elevate someone from the practice squad, most likely, to also help at the cornerback position, being that they're going to be a corner down. More likely than not, that guy will be Aaron Colvin. Jonathan Allen was listed on this injury report, along with Antonio Gandy-Golden. Those two guys we feel really good about. They were full participants all week long, and so they're not even listed on the injury report at this point in terms of game status. Those guys have been full participants. They're going to play in the game on Sunday, so that is good news. So we go from the Washington injury report to now the Eagles injury report. And so we take a look at what they have. They've got 7 players listed on their injury report, but 2 of these guys, similar to our 2 at the bottom in Jonathan Allen and Antonio Gandy-Golden, are going to play. They're no longer even listed in terms of their game status. We'll get to them at the end, but we'll start with Javon Hargrave, one of their big offseason acquisitions from Pittsburgh, the defensive tackle. He's dealing with both a pec and a hamstring injury. Didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday, and he didn't practice on Friday. He's officially ruled out, so that's good news for us. I wanted everybody healthy, but at the end of the day, if you can get a break, you'll take the break. He's not going to be able to go, and that's good for us. Same can be said for Alshon Jeffrey. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. A wide receiver out of this game with a foot injury. He did not practice on Wednesday nor Thursday, and he's not practicing at all today either. He's been ruled out of this football game as well. Derek Barnett, the defensive end, nursing a hamstring injury. He was limited on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, limited on Friday. He's listed as questionable. If I had to guess, I'd say he's going to play. He may not be a massive factor, but I think he is going to end up playing in this football game. Corey Clement was a guy that snuck onto the injury report on Thursday. He was a full participant on Wednesday, listed on the injury report for the first time on Thursday with a quadriceps injury. He came back full participant on Friday. He's no longer even listed on the injury report. He's going to be a full go. The guy that I told you I was most concerned about and really looking to see if he was going to be able to go was tackle Lane Johnson. To me, he's the most important person on this list for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's nursing an ankle injury, limited on Wednesday. Thursday, he was limited as well. Today, he was limited. He's listed as questionable. That's a guy to keep an eye on. I'm going to assume that Lane Johnson's going to want to go week 1 versus a NFC East nemesis. I think he's going to play in this football game. How effective will he be is the question, and will he tweak it during the game? I'm not looking for that. If he plays, I want him out there. I want no excuses, whether he does play or he doesn't. When they get their asses kicked at the line of scrimmage, I don't want to hear any excuses about this guy was banged up or this guy didn't play. So if he plays, he's out there, then whatever the case may be, good for him. If he's not, next man up, we'll see what happens. But that's definitely a guy that they need if they're going to be successful against our defensive front. So that's a guy worth watching to see if he is going to go on Sunday or not. I surmise that he will. Jalen Reagor was a guy that I told you I was shocked that he was even practicing at this point because he had banged himself up towards the end of training camp. The Eagles thought he would miss the first portion of the season. And this guy miraculously, with a shoulder injury, was limited Wednesday, a full participant Thursday, and he went full again Friday, which means he's not even listed on the injury report. He's going to play. I will get our first look at Jalen Reagor. I've had some pretty strong words to say about him as far as the Eagles taking him in the first round. He's got a chance to shut me up right out of the gate. We'll see what this guy is able to bring to the table for that Eagles wide receiver core. And then finally, running back Miles Sanders, a big part of their offense, a guy that Jack Del Rio singled out and talked about in his presser earlier this week, is dealing with a hamstring injury. Wednesday, limited participation. Thursday, same thing. Friday, also limited participation. He's listed as questionable. Again, I do believe he's going to play. Talking to an Eagles fan earlier in the week who gave us a very descriptive rundown of what was said about these players and practicing. He said Miles Sanders more likely than not will play. However, he's going to be scaled back in how they use him. We'll see a lot more of Corey Clement and some of their other running backs. Boston Scott and some of those other guys will be a little bit more of fixtures in the game. But Miles Sanders, I think, will still be out on the football field. So there you have it. That is the injury report heading into week number 1 for both teams. We'll keep tabs on both of those injury reports as we near Sunday. Now we get to Ron Rivera and his presser from Thursday, in which he talked about a number of different issues. Really, the biggest thing that stuck out to me, he talked about past week ones that he's been involved in Carolina, talking about how, and I think the question was posed by Rhiannon Walker of The Athletic, and she asked him about his record and how he's never lost or won a game, for that matter, in week 1 by more than 7 points. All his games, essentially what I'm saying is they've been close. He hasn't been a part of any ass whoopings on either side, which is a good thing in terms of having his team prepared. Whether you win or lose, you just want to be in the ball game. I've always long said this about our team, and maybe I'm a little bit foolish in the way I think because I've been trained to think this way. Some teams go in for the kill and they're hoping to be up big in the fourth quarter. Myself, I just want a chance in the fourth quarter. Maybe when we get a good team and we can score points like the Chiefs or the Saints or the Packers or some of these dominant teams around the league, maybe then I'll start looking for the jugular and looking to slice it in the third quarter and be up big in the fourth quarter. But right now, for where we are, I just want to be in the game competitively in the fourth quarter with a chance to win. And that's where Rivera usually is. And he talked about some games in which things might have slipped away, a play here, a play there. And we know it's a finite line in this league in terms of winning and losing. And there's a play here or a play there that can make all the difference in a game, especially when they come down to a matter of points. So Rivera talked about, a couple of games in his past that he's learned from. And he talked about where he got the nickname Riverboat Ron and how, back in, I think it was 2011, he talked about, a lot of guys stepping up to the challenge that he started to present to them about wanting to win and wanting to have the ball in crucial situations. And he said himself, he needed to be able to understand where his team was, what the situational awareness of that moment meant. And should he go for it? Should he kick the field goal? Should he punt? And so, that's when he got the nickname Riverboat Ron, when he started to roll the dice a little bit more as he became more confident in his team. He's not there yet with this squad, however, but he's hoping to build that type of rapport with this team. And then he talked about Dwayne getting the title of team captain. And, the players vote on that, and the question was posed to him about, how gratifying was it and how good, did you feel about the players seeing the growth and maturation and leadership in Dwayne this offseason, enough so that they voted him a team captain. And he said, it was really rewarding to know that all of the things that we had seen as coaches came to fruition, and the players also saw it as well. And so him being voted team captain was a big deal for Rivera, just as it was for Haskins himself. So look, Rivera is excited about Sunday, more so than he normally would be going in to a game in week 1, because of everything that he's gone through, because of everything that this offseason has been in terms of, Black Lives Matter and not having an offseason with the players in the facility, having to do things totally different, and, the COVID situation, and then him finding out that he has cancer. This week 1 matchup takes on a greater meaning for him, and that's why I told you these guys are going to want to get this game for Ron Rivera. Speaking of that, let's get to my final outcome for week number 1. Washington hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Family business. You know how the family do it. If these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. NFC East. Stop. So I've already given you the breakdown, so I don't need to bore you with the particulars of what needs to be done. We did that yesterday. I will say this. Before all of the things that have transpired in terms of Ron Rivera learning of his cancer diagnosis and, all of the injuries that we perceived the Eagles to have coming into week 1, somewhat wounded, none of that stuff matters. I told you when the schedule was released that this was a win for Washington. Then I feel more confident now, but I want to pump the brakes on some of you out there that think this is going to be some kind of bloodbath or massacre and that we're going to dominate the Eagles. Slow down, all right? A wise man once told me, pump your brakes and drive slow, homie. Drive slow, homie. All right? Drive slow. All right? This isn't going to be a blowout. I don't know what team you've been watching or hearing about, but that's not what we do around here. That's not what we do in these parts, okay? If this is a win for the Washington football team, which I think it's going to be, you guys know that. That's not a secret this week. It's going to be a close ball game. If we lose, it's going to be a close ball game. Despite what everybody has been saying, that this is going to be an Eagles win, it's going to be pretty decisive. I told you some of the records or scores that I've seen for this game, which have me appalled. I think this is going to be a close game either way. Whether we win or we lose, we're going to be in this ball game with a chance to win in the fourth quarter. But I see us making enough plays in this particular ball game to find a way to get it done. And so my final score for this particular game is going to be 27-23. Now, here's how we get to 27-23. Down the stretch, and I'm going to give you my cliff note here. Down the stretch, the Eagles miss an extra point. So instead of it being a 3-point ball game late, they're down 4, which forces Carson Wentz to have to drive the length of the field to break our backs. And you're going to be at the edge of your seat, and you're going to be nervous because in these situations, Carson Wentz usually delivers and puts a dagger right in our hearts. This time, however, the defense steps up, makes a play late. Montez Sweat with a big sack of Carson Wentz to seal the deal. Chase Young also providing a little bit of pressure so he couldn't get away. Montez Sweat puts him down, and we secure the victory 27-23 in a nail biter, and looking forward to us rejoicing in a week 1 victory. And it'll be fun to watch Ron get the game ball afterwards. It should be a very emotional scene. I'm looking forward to it. I want to know what you think is going to happen in this game. Give me your score and more down below in the comment section of this video. Looking forward to reading all of your responses and seeing what you think is going to happen. And I've got a surprise for you guys on Sunday. Look forward to finding me directly after the game as always, but it's not going to be for the R3 this year. Stay tuned for that as well. But before we get out of here, make sure you subscribe to the Louie T Network. If you haven't already done so, go ahead, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Also, hit the like button, man. Help your man out. So hit that like button as well. Also, don't forget, we've got merch on sale. All right. NFL kickoff weekend offer only available until 1 p.m. on Sunday. So get your merch without any shipping costs. Take advantage of this opportunity. Rep your man Louie T and support the brand. I'm going to thank you in advance for that. Also, make sure you're checking out all of the different things we have going on the Louie T Network, including the LTN exclusives. Not too late to get in on Winners and Losers or on the Soul Survivor pool. All of that down in the description as well as the links to the merch where you can purchase and take advantage of that deal once again. And also, we've got Patreon. Got some extra content for you guys. We're breaking down film every Tuesday this year. Washington football film broken down on Patreon, exclusively on Patreon. So become a patron so you don't miss out on that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to glide to the side and allow you to enjoy your weekend as I'm going to enjoy mine. Remember, you get some college football, and then on Sunday, the boys bless us on the field. Looking forward to that. Bart Scott. Can't wait. Until then, I'm your man Louie T, signing off, telling you, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. Until next time, you guys take care. Have a good one.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone.